When shopping for the right motherboard, we might hear intimidating terms like ultra durable, VR ready, or LED trace path lighting. Well, today guys, we're going to look at a motherboard that has all those features and doesn't break the bank. What is up guys, welcome back to another episode of JoesTech. Obviously that was all in good fun, but today we are going to be looking at a motherboard that does include all of those features, if that's what you want to call them, which is the Gigabyte AB350M-HD3. So this board is going to be an AM4 platform budget, I'm going to call it budget motherboard. If at any point during the video you guys want to take a look at it or look into it further, I'll go ahead and throw links in the description below. But usually at this point in the video I would do an unboxing, but because of the fact that this is more of a lower budget board, obviously they don't include a ton of accessories, so I'll give you guys just a quick rundown instead of doing a whole unboxing. So included in the box you guys do get 2 SATA cables, you get 1 quick start guide or a little user guide that's like 2 pages long, you get a driver disc, an IO plate obviously, and then the board itself. Now to kind of divert our attention to the connectivity for this board, on the bottom connections we're going to find our front panel audio header, TPM header, 2 USB 2.0 headers, our front panel connections, and of course 1 USB 3.0 header. Now moving to the back of the I/O, we're going to find 2 USB 2.0 connections, 1 PS2 connection, our onboard graphics for VGA, DVI, and HDMI, 4 USB 3.1 Gen 1s, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A, and of course your audio connections. Now this is one area I feel like is kind of lacking, but it seems kind of fair at the same time, which is the fact that there's only a handful of USB ports. Obviously those are going to get filled up pretty quick, and you know, I understand that this board is small and that it's a budget board, but they already have USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type A connectors. That it would have been nice if they threw in at least a Type C connector for those of you guys who want to take advantage of that technology. As far as power connectivity, we just have our standard 24 pin and of course our 8-pin CPU connection. So there's a few things I wanted to go over with this board as far as pros and cons go. The first thing being the price of the board. It's $84.99 US at the time that I'm making this video. Obviously, I don't know if it's going to fluctuate at all. However, all the retailers had it for this price. It wasn't like it was on a discount sale or anything like that. It's one of the least expensive AM4 micro ATX boards and one of the few that support Crossfire. It does not support SLI. Now as far as cons go, even though it does support Crossfire, there's only one PCI Express x16 slot. There is a second PCI Express by 4 slot. The problem here is with this platform, as far as I understand, when you put in 2 Crossfire cards, they're going to be running in a by 8 configuration. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. I would imagine one of the cards would be working in a by 8 and one would be working in a by 4, but you're going to kind of lose a little bit of performance there potentially. So that's one thing to keep in mind. However, if you wanted to get that added performance, you know, this is definitely a good board to go with. Even though this board does only have 2 memory slots in comparison to a lot of the other micro ATX boards that have 4 slots, it does support up to 32 gigs of DDR4 2666 and does support up an overclock of up to 3200, and of course it does support those XMP modules as well. M.2 is kind of becoming a requirement, it seems, with all board manufacturers, and this one also delivers with that M.2 Gen 3x4 solution, along with 6 gigabit per second SATA connections. Now, obviously 6 SATA connections isn't a lot compared to most boards out, but keep in mind this is a micro ATX board, and you're typically not going to have more than 6 SATA connections within your micro ATX case. One other feature on this board that I believe is kind of one other feature that I thought was kind of cool on this board is the fan pin headers, which are considered hybrid, and I think there's other manufacturers out there that kind of have a similar technology, but basically what it allows the board to do is recognize the type of device that's being plugged into one of the 2 fan headers, and according to their site allows the board to detect the type of cooling device, whether it be a fan or pump with different PWM or voltage mode. So as far as the reasons I picked this board, obviously like I mentioned, I need an AM4 platform motherboard, I needed micro ATX, I needed Crossfire support. Not really, I don't need Crossfire support, but I wanted it, and of course I wanted something that wasn't really gaudy. There's a lot of color schemed boards out right now with like red and black, or yellow, and I just didn't really want a lot of color, so that's kind of why I selected this board. Now, if you guys are subscribers to the channel already, you do not know this, but I'm hopefully going to be doing a new Ryzen 5 build within the next week, as long as everything works out and I get all the parts that I'm expecting in the mail. But that's why I selected this board. If you guys do want to see how this board performs at a later date, hopefully very soon, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, feel free to go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up on the way out. And of course, guys, until next time, this has been JoesTech. I'll see you in the next one.